So hi everyone, we are recording at this point, and we'll just see, this call is about the Nikan technologies and the amazing results we get with these technologies, and it's one of the main reasons we get so excited about sharing Nikan with other people is because what happens with these products. And I know that Ursula Dowd has that machine that she's just been sending images on, when you're using a cell phone, or mobile phone, how your energy system crashes, and then when you use the products, it comes back and stabilizes. So, it's pretty powerful when you see the imagery. I don't have the images right here, right now, but they're available. And I know Dave Johnson's going to be doing a call with her very shortly, showing those images. So I think that's one of the areas that we do want to focus on with everyone is how important, using magnetic fields and far infrared, negative ion technology, how important that is when you are subject to EMF fields, Wi-Fi, your computer, your mobile phone, and pretty much everybody is affected, and it really drains our energy system. So we want to keep the energy system buoyant and thriving, and the way to do that is bring it back in touch with nature and connected to nature. So that's a huge part of our educating. People think you have to be really good at sales when you do network marketing, but I would counter it with it's a lot more to do with education. Listening to what people need and then really educating them about why these technologies are so very, very, very important to all of us at this time, not just whether we have sickness or whatever, but to prevent things, to keep that energy body thriving, which then keeps every cell of the body vital and vibrant and thriving so that it can withstand the onslaught of modern day life. So this is super important. That's why we all use the products. We wear them all the time. We're always, any Nikan consultant you'll see any Nikan consultant that understands the power of these products is always wearing these products. They wear them all day long, use the seats, use the necklaces, the insoles. We take the nutritionals, we use the skincare, of course, but we are very, very vigilant, I'm going to say, about using our sleep system at night to repair and recover, using our air systems, our water, Climax water. We're using all the technologies just to keep us, or not just to, but to keep us healthy and thriving in a crazy modern world. Very, very important, and not just physically, but mentally very important for focus and ability to really think clearly. So we see great results with kids taking exams, having memory recall, or people that have memory problems when they're in their elder years. Very important emotionally, to keep us emotionally buoyant and vibrant. When the energy system is strong and the light body is empowered, then the emotions stay strong and empowered. So the emotions, the mind, the spirit, and the physical body. So all of it. So don't just think of it as a physical thing, that it's just for helping somebody with a bad knee or a bad ankle. It's always wonderful to do that, but this is much, much more than that. This is for every child, every pet, and us, the adults, and our elderly parents. It's for all of us. So Eric, you teach a product workshop. Would you talk a little bit about how you teach that workshop and what you do there? That would be great.
Okay. There's a catch me by surprise moment. I think what we try to do is to always go with what the people who have come are interested in learning about. But I suppose that the key place that we start is really how little we need to say in order to really convey the essence of what we're offering. And one of the things about a product workshop is that very often people will come wanting to learn the endless details, when really what we want is just a sentence or two which will really convey the essence of the product and the value of the product, and which will capture people's imagination and their interest. So I think that's one of the areas that we start with. I guess we also start with the 5 pillars of health, because in the end, as you were saying, people often think that this is about selling. And even people who say that they don't want to sell often find that once they sign their registration form, that they fall into a preconceived image of what a distributor should be in terms of selling. And for us, the message really is about an awareness of the 5 pillars of health and following our awareness and understanding the consequences of our behaviors, because really so many things that we do are just almost everything is a result of social and commercial conditioning. And the things that we understand, the things that we teach in Nikken about health are really the most naturally based foundations of health. And yet we have somehow found ourselves trained to disbelieve the things that we know, or to think that they're not really that important. And you know, the reality is that the simplest, most natural food is the best for us, not the most highly processed and most highly profitable, which is what most people eat and what most people are sold. And so I find that the commercial pressures of the world are very tiring and tiresome. Always trying to sell somebody something new, and I get endless emails about the latest secret that somebody has discovered that the government is trying to suppress. And my message is that there are 7 billion people on the planet, that we have enough evidence to really understand how our bodies work and how the world works. And what we need to do is to be following what we know and what we have learned through evolution, and to be wary of commercial pressures, because, you know, as you were saying with EMFs and Wi-Fi and all of these other things, these are huge environmental experiments where the consequences don't arrive within a few days, which would make it really easy to understand, but arrive within years or decades. And so we don't really yet know what the consequences will be. We have indications, but we don't yet know. And so when we look at Nikken and why people should be interested in Nikken, it's really about recognizing the need for nature, the need for simplicity in the modern world, trying to adapt ourselves to both fit in with the modern world and our families and our friends and our work colleagues and society at large, and yet to support our bodies in a way that will give us the health and the vitality and the energy that we really want. And so, you know, I guess those are the foundations.
Very good.
Obviously, we then look at the products.
Do you go into the sleep system and the importance of sleep, and do you teach the rollouts in the product workshops?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Increasingly, I mean, what we do has changed over the years. What our most recent product workshop, we tried to steer away from some of the basics, because now we have the product training manual. You know, a product workshop used to be teaching a product training manual, and now we have a product training manual which people can read. So now we try to steer more towards the demonstrations and the personal experiences and experiencing the benefits and the energies, because that's something that you can't really get from a booklet.
Absolutely. And I think some people learn better in communication anyway, verbally, to hear things as well as reading. I love that we have that, and thank you for putting it together, because it's such a wonderful, useful thing. I think it's used more in Europe than it is over here in America, but nevertheless, it's super, super important. So, you know, with the product, and I'm asking you about the sleep system because for me, the sleep system it's really the core product. It's the most important product. If everything was taken away from Nikken consultants, I think we would see that if Nikken said you cannot have anything except one thing, the one thing we would all say is we want that sleep system. You know, that is the most important thing, because we sleep a third of our lives, and it's been proven that more and more right now that sleep is really critical for our health and well-being. More important than nutrition, and more important than exercise, which is amazing to realize. So sleep is the key, and we've really all built very strong businesses around sleep being the core. And then so that's earth and fire energy and negative ion energy, which is the air. So you have earth, fire, and air. What's the fire? That's the far infrared energy, the wavelength that we cannot see, that is the most living, vibrant ray of sunlight that we cannot live without. So we cannot live without far infrared. We would die without it. We cannot live without the Earth's magnetic field. We would die without that. So these are really important things to learn, that in the sleep system you're cocooned in those technologies, earth and sun, and negative ion technology with the tourmaline crystal that produces that fresh calming effect and has its own health properties for the body. So that's a kind of core. And then we have our water, of course, our alkaline high mag water, which is microstructured, very different from any other kind of water, and remineralized and all of that. And then we have the air system, which is just under review right now for quality control, but we'll be having that back ASAP. And that's an important component. And, you know, I don't know if you saw, we have our full spectrum light. I have my light right here for the importance of the eyes, and not just the eyes, but the blood flow that goes behind the eyes constantly every few seconds. We need that full spectrum light to feed the blood. And most of us are malilluminated, just like we're malnourished with the magnetic field, or we're malnourished with the sun's far infrared. We're just in this state of malnourishment, and these things just give us back this vitality. So it's very, very important to understand the profundity of it. I just met with a friend this morning who's just written a book about light and color therapy, and we were talking about full spectrum light as well as the power of color and so forth. So it's really life-changing when you give somebody that privilege of trying a sleep system, trying these products, trying the light and the daytime products. So we do a lot of lending, and I'm not the only one who does that. Pretty much everybody does that. Dave Johnson lends product, Mike DiMuccio lends product, Dahlia and Eric lend products. We all lend products to people because that's how people can have experiences of the profundity of the change in energy they will feel. And what we're really looking at is that they're going to be sleeping much deeper and more effectively. They'll probably be dreaming more, so accessing their dream world much more effectively, which is very, very important. And then we're going to be teaching them about the vitality of waking up with vitality, drinking the water, breathing the air, having that sense of freshness, youthfulness. It's very anti-aging, our technologies. And then, of course, with our nutritionals as well for digestion and for the immune system and all of that. The skincare, so we're not harming the skin. The shower, so we're not harming the skin again, and we're just giving the skin what it really needs, that amazing deep nourishment and hydration. So a lot of these things are really important for everyone, for children as well as for adults, as well as for the elderly. So we want to be thinking in terms of, who we take this to. Who do we take this to? We take this to everybody. Anyone who will listen and be open-minded and open-hearted. And that's kind of what we ask is, are you open to other ways of looking at health and taking care of your health? Because we know that it is a rather novel way. But if you look back in time, as Eric was saying, nature and the simplicity of the power of nature for health and healing was always written about by Hippocrates in Greece, and also in China and Egypt and the Celts and all around the world in tribal times. It was known that we needed the simplicity of the earth and the sun and the good air and good water. This is sort of basic. It's so basic that it's missed today, as Eric was saying. I was talking to a doctor yesterday morning. We were having a meeting, first level silver to me, and he was just saying, Julie, we just aren't taught this. And he's one of the top dermatologists, and we're just not taught this about the simplicity of nature for health and healing. Because, the focus in Western medicine is on sick care and on, well, I'll be the endocrinologist, or I'll be the, the ophthalmologist or whatever. I'll take this one little area of the body and I'll work with that. And a lot of it has to do with surgery and drugs. And sometimes we need those things. Sometimes we do. But many times we don't. Many, many times we can just help the body heal. So I was asking him if he knew about epigenetics. And he said, what is epigenetics? So it was teaching him about epigenetics. And this man is very, very smart. This man is one of the best doctors I've ever seen ever. He is one of my favorite people ever, and he's so brilliant. And he's saying, explain to me about epigenetics. So, you know, what I'm loving about him is that with all his knowledge and his teaching of other doctors, he teaches other doctors about skin cancers and how to work with them, and is that he's open and he's humble enough to be open to a whole way of looking. And to me, that's really thrilling that he would do that. It's absolutely thrilling that he is not just so arrogant to say, I know it all, and what would you know, right? It's like, no, teach me about this. And so this is what we do in our business of Weekend, is really, it's about education. We refer people to links all the time. We tell people stories all the time. How do we build this business? We're telling our own story. Of course, we're listening to their stories, but we're telling our own stories. We're teaching them about what we've seen with other people. I just got off a call with a friend of mine, and just teaching her through stories is really how we do it, about how these products could help her husband who has some problems in his shoulder. And I was saying, well, I have a friend who's a dancer who hurt her shoulder with rotator cuff, and for 2 years was in agony, finally came to me, put some magnets on and things, and boom, it was gone. She was better. And she said to me, Julie, why didn't I listen to you 20 years ago? Because I've known this woman, I've known her since before Weekend. And I said, I don't know, maybe it just wasn't your time. You know, sometimes people have to suffer before they're willing to look at something new. But my point being that I was teaching my friend, who's an ex-dancer with me from Dutch National Ballet, about the story of my other friend who got the results very quickly and was bowled over. And she became a senior just like that, you know, because she realized that she needed that sleep system. She needed that water. She needed that air. She needed that topical products, CM cream and power chips and duct tape and everything else we use. So once you educate well, people realize people aren't stupid. They may not always be open initially, but they're not stupid. And when they get the results on their body, it's a very kinesthetic thing. They get it because they can't deny that, right? We can't deny it when we see results with animals, when we see results, you know, all the time with animals, actually, when we see results with babies, and people are saying, well, you must really believe in this. And I say, it has nothing to do with belief. It has to do with physics. It's not about belief. It doesn't matter if you believe in it or not. It's going to work. If you give it enough time and enough of the technology, it's going to work. So, you know, you have a dog. Does the dog believe in it? No. But is it going to get results with the products? Yes. Same with babies, and that's why we love telling those stories. So we're always sharing stories, whether we're sending a link to a YouTube or we're just telling a story. We had a woman and her husband over 2 nights ago, and the woman was having some really bad problems with her back. And we gave her a magnetic flex and put it on her back. And her agony was gone. We don't usually use the word pain because we're not making any kind of medical terminology, but her agony was gone in like 3 minutes. She could not believe it. And was she excited? Yes. And was she and her husband struggling financially? Yes. He hasn't been able to get a job for the last year. He's in his mid-60s, and you know, there's a lot of bias with age, which is ridiculous, but there is. And so he can't get a job right now. So are they intrigued? Yes. So you've got somebody's attention when you get those product results. And to get the product results, it takes some work. It takes some showing things. It takes doing strength tests. Don't just give somebody a necklace and say, hey, knock yourself out. You know, here you go. You know, this is just going to take care of all your headaches, and not explain what is the power of this little thing. It doesn't look like much, right? It's very simple. It's very inexpensive, but don't underestimate the power of it. So it does take showing. And that's why we do the lemon test with the acid alkaline. It's why we do the strength test on the insoles. It's why we do rollouts on the sleep system, you know, to give people the experience, because once the penny drops, people are like, oh, wow, this is amazing. And then, of course, the next thought that comes to them is, do you think this might help my husband? Do you think this might help my daughter? Do you think this might help my mother? Do you think this might help my best friend down the road who just got a diagnosis? And the natural tendency of a human being is to want to share what is good. And the key things we say about the products is they are safe, first and foremost. That is the most important thing. They are 100% safe. They are non-invasive and non-chemical. They are highly effective. They work. And they are extremely convenient. You don't have to change your life in order to use these products. You just have to integrate them into a busy life. Now, this is huge. That convenience factor is massive with our product line. We are so lucky that we get products that have results in a moment with a strength test, but that convenience is huge. And I know this from coming from a nutritional background with macrobiotics, from doing energy work with people, from doing meditation with people, from doing shamanic work with people. I can tell you honestly, most people, unless they are highly motivated, don't want to take time to cook a really healthy meal. They don't want to take time to learn how to really meditate. They don't want to take time to learn what shamanism is and how to utilize that. They don't want to take time to go and have an energy healing session. People don't want that. They want things that are quick and fast. That's why people take paracetamol when they have a headache. And they expect it to work within, 10, 15, 20 minutes. So they don't want things that are hard. They want things that are easy. And so we are very lucky with our business that we have things that are easily shown and have quick results, quick effects that people can integrate like that. So we just say, look, do you sleep? We hope you sleep. Then all you need to do is integrate this sleep system because you're already sleeping. Just bring this in and it's going to change your life. Do you drink water? Hopefully you do. Then just drink this Mag water instead of the other water, the bottled water you're drinking or the tap water. Hopefully not. But do you breathe air? Good. You better be, because you won't survive long without air. Then put an air system in your room so you can breathe the good air. So on Facebook yesterday, I put a few pictures up just for fun to show that when I left, because I just moved last week, when I left my cottage that I was living in to move to a bigger home with a lot of trees and nature all around it, I'm calling it a tree house. It's not literally a tree house, but it's like a tree house. I put these pictures up saying, you know, as I cleared everything out to move, which was an arduous task, what was left until the day that I left was a demo sleep system, because I'd had my big king size sleep system moved already, my air system, my full spectrum light, the Mag water system, a Nikan seat for me to sit on when I was sitting on the floor with the computer, right? These key things, and of course my own bands and everything that I wear every day. So the point of putting that on Facebook was, look guys, everything else is gone. Everything's gone out of the house, but this is what's left, because this I can't live without. This we can't live without, because it's clear we are not living well without these frequencies. We are 1 out of 2 people to 1 out of 3 people dying of cancer, or having cancer anyway, I should say, being diagnosed with cancer all the time. So we have a major problem going on. And if you will read Cross Currents, The Perils of Electropollution, The Promise of Electromedicine, if you will read that book, or at least read the one chapter that's called The New Plagues, you will realize the severity of the world we're living in, the dangers of that, EMF fields, plus the dangers of the chemical, you know, how many chemicals now we have in our environment, plus GMOs, which nobody knows the result of that one yet at all. Even just those 3 things alone, let alone a stressful job with a boss that you hate, or, you know, a stressful job as a teacher with kids that are ornery and not nice, whatever it is, a stressful family life, whatever it is, stressful finances, let alone all that. Just EMFs, GMOs, and chemicals, you realize that we have created a very toxic world, and that our technologies are here to protect everyone. Lourdes, can you move your thumb, because you're coming in and you've got your thumb over your your video there. It doesn't look very nice. Thanks. So many of you are coming in now late, and we're really finishing now at 1:30. We sort of finish our call in a half hour. And we're recording this, but I want you to understand that the key is in your communication. How passionate are you about the social health of our world? Because I'm telling you, you will make money if you do the right things. And the right things in Nikken are talking to new people, right? The right things are talking to new people. So I'm just going to stop that. We'll take that one out if I can, and if I can take that video off, but I don't think I can. Okay, so that's, if you're passionate and you really care about others, you will make a fortune with this business. But it takes getting out there and just conversing. You can't do it only through social media, although social media is powerful, and vlogging is powerful, blogging is powerful, Facebook is powerful, but it's never going to be as powerful as you in front of a human being, asking questions, listening more, asking more questions, and then telling stories. And that's all we do, is just say, let me tell you what I've seen. Let me tell you what I've seen in over 20 years now for me in this business. Maybe for you, it's 2 months. Let me tell you what I've seen with my little boy who had a fever, and I put him in the sleep system, and the fever went down within 20 minutes without any drugs. Who wouldn't want to know that if they're a mother, right? So it depends who you're talking to. Let me show you how different people feel when they're working on computers all day long, when they're working with the seat and the water and the air and the daytime products and the sleep. You know, let me teach you about the story of what happened 2 days ago with a lady who was in agony, and I put a magnet on her back and it went away. It went away in just a few minutes. See, these are our stories, and they happen all the time. We have so many stories in Nikken, we can't keep up with them. If you're really smart, you're going to put them in little videos like Dahlia does, and she puts them on Facebook, and that's brilliant. And that, you know, because then other people can share in the story. I know that Ursula had a story a few weeks ago where somebody was, you know, couldn't stand up, couldn't walk without a cane. She could stand up, she couldn't walk without a cane. And after, I think, 20 minutes or so on a Nikken seat with insoles under her feet, she stood up and walked across the room without her cane. And she was just in tears, and her husband was in tears. You know, that's profound. And what you want is for people to say, what is this? Like, that's amazing. What are you talking about? What is this? I want to know. So this call is about products, and we are so blessed that we have the products we have. Right now, we are at a very powerful, potent place, because the network marketing industry has just shifted radically in the last 2 weeks with the new FTC ruling, which will be sending out permutations to every company out there. And Nikken is leading the way because they've already made the changes necessary. We are rising hand over foot in the amount of customers we have. It's been doubling every month. We used to be at about 3% customers. Now we're at about 50% customers. This is exactly what the FTC wants to see. Now, the lucky thing is that because we reduced prices, we know we have products that people really, really need, and they cannot get anywhere else. These products are exclusive to Nikken. They are internationally patented by Nikken. They're smart, this company. They're not stupid. They want us to have products that nobody else has, but everybody needs. And once you realize that and you see how we're poised with our product line and with the network marketing industry, we are poised to take off like a rocket. And the only thing, the variable now, the only variable is us. Us. Are we sharing it with others? Or are we keeping ourselves back? Are we holding back? Are we in resistance? Now, everybody has resistance to doing anything. You have a job, you have to get up Monday morning at 7 in the morning to get there by 9. You're going to have resistance. Resistance is just part of the human condition. So we have to move past our resistance to get out there and share this with other people. And so, you know, constantly you've got to listen to your intuition, and where should I go, and who should I call, and what should I do? And, you know, and you're self-motivated, right? Because you're an entrepreneur. So, you know, if it's going to be, it's up to me. So you're self-motivated. So you're thinking, okay, what's the next step? you know, what's the next step? Right here I have the entrepreneur's prayer. I'm sure you know this prayer. It's pretty long, actually. This is the one half of it, and that's the other half. But it's a beautiful prayer, and I'm not going to read it to you, but you can just Google the entrepreneur's prayer, print it out, and have it in front of you. You know, as I awaken with the gifts of yet another day and prepare for the tasks at hand, I offer up the most ardent prayer. And then it's like all the things, I pray for this, I pray for that, you know, continued clarity of purpose, cheerful countenance, the wisdom to expect abundance in my life, all these beautiful things. So, you know, we are entrepreneurs. We get paid only on the sale of these products, but we need to educate in order for the sale to happen. You do not have to be good at sales. You don't. The people that say I'm a great salesperson are the worst in our business. They are not effective because our business is about communication and communing with others and really connecting with others and really helping them finding what they need from what we have to offer. And at the right time, we offer it. Not too soon. Not too soon at all. Later, we offer it. Are you open to looking at an alternative way to have a solution to your problem? And all you want to hear is a yes. If it's a no, then you can move on. It's okay. But we are so lucky with our products. And I am very, very passionate about transforming our healthcare society because it's really sick care. And I'm very, very passionate about helping people with their mental health as well as their emotional health, not just physical. Because there's so many drugs being taken for mental health. And there's so many side effects, including suicide and homicide and other things. And if you look at the terrible things that happen in our world, like the mass shootings that happen so often these days, you will find that the people that perpetrate those tragedies, those horrors, invariably are on a cacophony or a cocktail, they call it, of drugs for the, you know, for the mind. So, you know, the side effects are severe. So my passion is peace on our planet and love and joy and well-being on our planet. And so I'm going to fight for that. I'm going to fight for that. And you need to fight for that in your own way, however it is. But you need to get their attention because they want to be around people like you, people who are passionate about our world and passionate about making a difference, passionate about the 5 pillars of health. And so that's really what you're looking to do, is to really gather them towards you, to say, take a look, guys, look at this whole issue differently, and let me help you to do that. So I feel we're very blessed, super blessed to have what we have, and all we have to do is just get after it and help others, and you will have everything you want. If you help enough other people get what they want, you will have everything you want. So know that, and have a lot of fun with it. Don't be shy, don't be reticent. Reticence is not going to assist you in this. Just move forward. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person, and trust that. But you do need to go out and find the people and tell them the stories of what you've seen. Be bold. Be courageous. I think it was one of our famous network marketers that said, you know, the one thing you need to have is courage. So this does take courage, but don't be shy. Just share it, and the right ones will join you for sure. So I'm so happy you're all there, and thanks for being started a little bit later. But thanks for coming on, and we'll put this on Facebook and YouTube and wherever else we can put it. And you know, have a fabulous, fabulous afternoon. I can stay on longer, but I'm going to stop our recording. And if you have questions, of course, you can ask them. But I want the recording to be about 30 minutes as it is right now.